Hey, good morning guys, Tush coming back at you. It's Saturday morning at about 10:15 and we're just out in the garage taking a look at the clutch and brake master cylinders and the bracket and the reservoir, and everything looks good, nice and dry. So what we're going to do this morning is we're going to reassemble that, and then we'll move on to the next project, which I think will be the windscreen wiper motor. So anyway, we'll let's finish that off first, and then we'll come back. All right, guys. Quick update: the clutch and master cylinders are now put back together, so they look a heck of a lot better than what they did. So I still need the. There's actually a sticker that goes on the reservoir that I don't have, so I'll have to get the sticker. I managed not to mark it up too badly getting it back together. It's a little challenging sometimes getting the piping connected without sort of moving the ball around and scratching it in the bracket. But yeah, it looks a heck of a lot better than it did for sure. Let me just get out of the light here. I'll be so glad to be able to get the garage door open in the next week, I think. So there it looks pretty good if you ask me. So we'll put that inside on the dining room table, and we'll call that done, and we'll move on to the next project. Alright guys. Alright guys, on to the wiper motor now. And as you can see, it's in pretty much the same condition as everything else on this car. So just covered in dirt and rust. So we're going to take it apart, we'll clean it up. Clean up all the old grease inside. Check the motor out. And we'll repaint all the components. And reassemble. And it should be good as new when we're done. Alright, there's a quick look of it. Don't know how dark that is, but you get the idea. Alright, so there's the before shot, and we'll come back as usual. And there's a quick look at the insides, and you can see all that old 50-plus-year-old grease in there, so we'll clean that out and get that operating a little more smoothly. You can see all the wiring is shot. It's all frayed here, so we'll be putting a new piece of wire in there connecting to this cap. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick look at that, and we'll take it apart. Alright guys, just coming up to 12:45, and we've got the wiper motor all apart here on the bench and ready for the next step, which is sort of cleaning. So we're going to clean by hand what we can. Probably this body we'll just probably clean out by hand. That case, we're thinking of putting that in a blaster. We've got to be careful of this little brush retainer set down here. It's got a little tiny spring. It's kind of a little delicate little mechanism, so we've got to be careful with that. And the rest of the components here we'll have to clean up, and we'll reassemble once we get them into paint. I'm not sure what we're going to paint it yet, but we'll see how it turns out in the end. Anyway, I just want to give you a quick shot of that before we go ahead and start blasting parts. Blasting and hand cleaning. Got to be a little bit more delicate on this one. Alright guys, just after 3 o'clock, and I wanted to give you a quick update. So all the parts have been blasted. I'm not sure whether I took a video of that or not, but you can see the case cover is here. I do have some parts in primer over here. So those are just ready for getting ready for paint. I do want to do some electrical work here. I do want to replace some of the wiring here, in here and on the cap. So I've got the soldering gun out. I'm going to use blue wire. It should be red, but don't have any red, so blue it will be. So the concourse judges are going to have a field day. Anyway, not too worried about that. So we'll just continue on, but I just wanted to give you a quick shot of that before we move very much further. Alright guys, I'm not very patient, and I'm not very good at watching paint dry, so we're going to start on another project. We're going to do this as the cross tube that goes in front of the engine, connects the left and right sides of the suspension towers, front suspension towers or turrets together, sort of an integral part of the frame. So we're going to clean that up while the paint is drying on these bits, and hopefully we'll be able to get back to that in a couple hours anyway, and do some more soldering before we put it back together. So we'll start grinding on that thing and clean that up and maybe get that ready for paint while we're waiting. I keep thinking to myself that two things actually. One thing is that I bet you George, the shade tree fix-it man, would be really good at rebuilding this wiper motor. And the other thing I keep thinking of is good thing I'm not on one of those reality, shows where they, fix a car in 7 days, because it takes me 1 day just to do the wiper motor. So anyway, good to see a video from Darren this afternoon. Looks like Darren's up and about already, which is unbelievable. So speedy recovery, Darren. Hope you're feeling well. Hope you're doing better, and hopefully this time that operation is a success. So anyway, all the best to Darren, and we're all hoping you'll make a speedy recovery and get back out in the garage and make some more videos. Talk to you later. Alright guys, quick update for you. It's late. It's 20 to 12. Hard to believe, but I've been out here all day. I did actually go in for a little bit. I got a little frustrated with the project for a period of time because I lost a tiny little clip, a little spring clip that holds that gear into the bottom of this housing. And it's a spring clip, and it sprung somewhere in the garage, and it's like needle in a haystack trying to find that thing. So I was pretty frustrated. I looked around for it and I couldn't find it. The only thing that was a saving grace was I knew that I had some a backup bag of spare parts from an old wiper motor that was toast. So I spent about a half an hour looking for that. It actually still had the little clip on it that I needed, so I managed to rescue that from the parts bag and use it for the good one. So yeah, what an ordeal. Anyway, it's done. I'm not happy with it because I've handled it so much now. I've actually marked the paint up a little bit. I was a little impatient, I think, and actually was trying to manhandle it before the paint was completely dry. So I think what we'll do is we'll tape that off tomorrow, and we'll just give it a second coat of black there on the main body of the motor. There's a few other little marks here I need to touch up. You can see a little bit of primer coming through here, so we'll just get a Q-tip maybe and touch that up. Otherwise, it looks pretty good, I think. Definitely a lot better than it was, so we're happy about that. So just a little bit of a bummer on that paint on the housing, but we'll fix that up tomorrow. Anyway, it's been a long day. We'll go in. Well, I got one more thing to show you. I did finish off that down tube, or sorry, not the down tube. This is the support that goes across the suspension towers at the front of the frame. So that's done and in paint, so I'm happy with that. So we'll move on, I guess, back. I think we need to really move on to get the engine back looking better and get that into paint. So maybe we'll try to work on that tomorrow for a little bit. I believe I'm going with Les tomorrow, my neighbor Les, who's got his Capri at the paint shop. Apparently his Capri is painted, so we're supposed to go tomorrow and pick that up. So I probably have a short day tomorrow, unfortunately, because I could probably really use the time to get that engine into paint. Apparently it's supposed to be quite a nice day tomorrow. It's supposed to be about 20 degrees Celsius, which will be the warmest day of the year so far. 20 degrees Celsius is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's looking like we might be able to finally get the garage doors open. It looks like the weather has turned for the better. Looks like it's probably about 10 degrees, between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius for the rest of the week. So I think what we'll do tomorrow is we'll try to insulate the garage. We'll tear all that insulation out, and we'll finally get the garage doors open. That'll be able to get us into cleaning mode, and we can get this garage swept out and blown out with the leaf blower, and blow out all the dust from the past, I don't know, was it 4 or 5 months that the garage doors have been closed. So I'm looking forward to that. That's it for tonight, guys. We'll upload this, and we'll get back out here tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.